Versa best company.
Versa Business System.
It's a better
Versa Business System.
Versa Business System.
Welcome to the Versa Business Tips Podcast. I'm your host, founder, and CEO of Versa Business System, Shaheen Mazloom. We're here with Kira today. He's the founder and CEO of Informed.Now. Really excited to have this conversation with you today, Kira. How you doing, brother?
Shaheen, thank you so much for having me. It's been delightful chatting with you, and I'm excited to dive in.
Absolutely, man. So for those out there that don't know what you do and what Informed.Now is, tell us a little bit about that.
Absolutely. Informed.Now is really on a mission to repair information integrity in America, to repair information infrastructure in America. And so we do that by disrupting the news space. Most of the news you read today, if you are someone who reads news, which most people don't, is misleading. And
Right.
misleading because there are structural incentives around advertisement, platforms, sponsors, investors that are external influences on what gets put into the news. And so as a reader, you don't really, news aren't written for you anymore, right?
Right.
I don't pay for them. We're looking to really fundamentally change the way folks consume information by making news, without the noise, by removing the noise from news, which
Right.
is bias, sensationalism, and any form of solicitation, which is mostly advertisement.
Yeah. Very cool, man. Dude, especially this last election, the last presidential election, it was just absolutely insane. I don't think I've watched like typical news since then, because it is so one-sided, and you can tell you can always tell, like, when you're having a conversation with somebody now, for the most part, what news channel they watch based on their opinions. And that is a problem. That is a huge problem, right? Like,
Sure.
based on their opinions, what news station they're watching, because they're basically being brainwashed into thinking a certain way based on what news channel or what news they intake,
Yeah.
right? So you guys are looking to deplete that, to fix that problem that we're having in America and around the world. So, Informed.Now, explain how that works. I understand it's like text message news. Like, give me a rundown of
Yeah.
how it actually works.
And I love that you mentioned the sort of the news tribalism that
Oh,
is in
yeah.
the country. You kind of tell when people regurgitate headlines, right? If like, oh, this is a Fox News person. Oh, this is a
Yeah.
CNN, CNBC person, right? This
Yep.
New York Times, New Yorker person. And you're like, you guys aren't really, putting in the effort to make up your own mind. You're just regurgitating
Yeah.
headlines that you're already kind
It's
of,
crazy.
yeah.
It's
And
crazy, man.
we believe that this isn't the fault of any person or group of people. This is,
Right. It just kind of happened, right?
yeah,
Like, it's obviously happened slowly over time, but now it's just so in your face.
yeah. And it's an industry problem. Like, I think it begins not with the individual making a questionable choice, but with
Yeah.
the industry constructing itself around very, ulterior motives that aren't around informing you and stepping back, but are
Yeah.
more clickbaiting you and holding your attention hostage to serve their advertiser interests, which is who they're ultimately beholden to, is advertisers.
Yeah.
They are the customers of the news industry. That's
Right.
paying for it. You are
Yeah.
not as a reader.
Yep.
I love that you mentioned that, but I want to honor your question around, kind of how do we do it? We really have an intense loyalty to primary sources. where we don't just read other creative writer type of journalists and try,
Uh-huh.
tease apart, okay, where is the truth? We actually go directly to the sources, right? So if it's a Supreme Court case that is changing the way life is done, or changing freedom, security, sense of choice in America, we're not going to read that from some pundit. We're going to take it directly from the primary sources, which is the Supreme Court, right?
Right.
We're going to read those opinions, those statements, those injunctions. We're going to look at that directly. And that is just one example, but we'll take that across if it's a central bank announcement, right? If it's anything economic, we'll take it from the central bank, from the Department of Labor, Department of Labor Statistics. We're going to take
Right.
Bureau of Labor Statistics, from the Census Bureau. If it's international, other governments, other central banks, other organizations, United Nations, WHO, we're taking it from the horse's mouth, so to speak,
Right.
and that's the majority of our coverage.
Right. Right.
We can't take it from because there's no primary source, in which
Right.
case we do primary reporting aggregation. So we look at what everyone is saying who's been on site, who's actually been there, not
Right.
people that are in New York reading and writing and
Right.
but actually people on the ground collecting the facts. So we have this intense research approach, and we really think of ourselves more as a research company rather than a news company. We're a
Right.
research company. So that's a really important piece. We make sure that the news we publish, we can take accountability for in terms of its accuracy, neutrality, and objectivity in
Wow.
full non-solicitation, where
Right.
your data is not being harvested, and you're
Right.
not being asked to go and buy and click and get this new car on the screen. That's our approach.
Yeah. It's gotten so bad with especially like online news channels. Like
Yeah,
you can't even go through the whole article. You've got to click read more, and then you end up in some freaking ad, different website. So what I was saying is you can't even scroll through, if you go to watch a video, you click play, you're on another website, right? And then you're watching some other video that has nothing to do with it. I mean, it's gotten insane. So you were
gotcha.
explaining how you guys get the information, which I love, by the way, directly from the source. How do, like, let's just say Fox Media, Fox News, and CNN, how is it that they're getting their information? Is it like going from one person to another to the news station? Like, is it, and then you end up in like a telephone type situation?
Yeah, I'd love to touch on that and give you kind of like an insight into how the news industry works. But first, I just want to say, that experience that you just hinted at of like being bombarded when you're in a news article is worth kind of dwelling on for a second
Yeah.
because it's unacceptable. It's such a, use a term attention economy that used to be used, right? I think that was a word from 10 years ago. We don't live in that world anymore.
Right.
We live in a world of attention terrorism. Because
Yeah. It's just gotten out of hand.
yeah, what you were just describing, to just paint this picture for anyone who's, tuning in just audio only. When you open a news article, what you see is like maybe a little slit of a paragraph, like three sentences,
Yeah.
but of it, right on the top, on the bottom, on the left side, on the right side, is advertisements,
Yep.
is little like images that are either soliciting you to go read something irrelevant that you're not
Right.
or is to buy a car, or to buy these socks, or buy these pants, or
Right.
switch your 401k. Or my favorite is doctors hate this one trick, right? And you're just seeing
Yeah.
this bait,
Yeah.
and you're like, how did this wind up here? And then you start scrolling, and as you start scrolling, there are advertisements in the middle of the paragraph,
Right.
between one paragraph and the next.
Yeah.
What's going on? And then there's a video player in the background that's playing, and it's following you. You're dragging it
Yeah.
down, but it's coming with you. You can't.
Exactly. It's
And it's some car
nuts.
driving. It's some car driving. It's some people. Like, how do I can't believe anything you're saying because the way you're presenting this to me it kills the trust.
Yeah.
It kills credibility. So
Yeah.
how can I believe you? How can I trust anything that I'm reading? Which brings me to your second question, which is how do they get the news that's different from ours? It isn't that different, except the way we present the news is respectful, while the
Right.
way we present the news is predatory, right? So the way the news industry is structured, this is broad strokes. Obviously, it varies from independent, smaller media
Right.
to large corporate size media. But generally, there is a layer in the industry called the newswire, and that's the layer that owns the reporting,
Yeah.
right? A very small number of companies. The few that come to mind is Bloomberg, Reuters, Associated Press, the Wire version,
Yeah.
and AFP. And they're the ones that have the reporting muscle that are out there in the field, whether that's the Wall Street trading floor, or whether that's Afghanistan, or whether that is Israel,
Right.
whether that's training. Is people on the ground collecting primary evidence.
Yeah.
That evidence gets packaged into what's called a newswire that is then purchased by the retail layer news, which is Fox, New York Times, New Yorker, it's CNN,
Right.
all of them. Now, they may have their own reporting muscle as well, but it's a fraction, right? The most of the reporting muscle is living at that news agency, which is the same thing as a news wire layer.
Wow.
And when it's picked up by Fox, when it's picked up by CNN, whoever kind of your friend and foe is, I want to make sure to paint the full spectrum.
Yeah.
They put it up in their tribal narrative. Whether
Right.
you already believe this, that's what we're going to convince you of. I'm going to spin Trump as the worst thing in the world, and tariffs are the worst thing in the world.
Yeah.
And someone else is going to take the same news and say Trump is the best thing that ever
Right.
happened to us. These tariffs are phenomenal. Like they'll tell you whatever story
Yeah.
you're already echo chambered into,
Yeah.
and it's messed up. It's irresponsible. There's no integrity in that, and
100%.
you're looking to shortcut that so that you, as the everyday American, have the dignity of getting the facts without manipulation.
Right.
So we're giving the power of the newswire that is our own, muscle directly to the everyday American.
It's amazing, man. Like what? So let me ask you, how long have you guys been in business now?
It's been a bit over a year.
Been over a year. And is this your first business, or have you had other businesses before this?
This is my fourth business, which is why it's like it feels new, but we've skipped a lot of like the early stages and we're like already a pretty mature company.
Right.
Because it's not a first rodeo.
Right. Right. Very cool, man. So how do you guys make money then if you're not doing the advert? Because most of the money made in the news industry is from advertisers. So
Absolutely.
how do you guys make your money?
The only way, right, to put the reader first is to only accept revenue from the reader. Because as soon as you introduce investors, sponsors, advertisers, tech platforms, you begin to optimize for them because they become the customer of your business.
Right.
Why we have the news industry we have today. It's broken because it optimizes for a different customer that is not.
Right.
So for us, we take revenue only from the reader. And it's a very affordable, small subscription. It's monthly. We don't lock anyone into annual contracts at all.
Right.
And it's just a few dollars. We charge a $9 a month.
Wow.
For most of our users, that's both very affordable, whether they're a student or an executive,
Yeah.
but it's also they cancel everything else. They don't actually, like most of our users, when they discover us, they cancel every other media subscription they've ever been part of because they're like, wow, this is facts and I want to pay for that.
Right.
I don't want to pay for this regurgitated manipulative opinion.
Yeah.
And so we want to be the last new subscription that you have. And we work hard to earn that trust every single day.
Right. Right. That's very cool. So, most people would say, well, you guys being a smaller company, how are you able to get as much news? Give me an idea. So let's say I sign up for the subscription, I'm paying $9 a month, and I want to see articles about business in the US. Is there a way for me to dictate like what news I want to see? And is that just like automatically texted to me, or explain to me how the program works?
Like totally. So I would think one thing to really clarify is we don't text breaking news like alerts.
Okay.
There are to go to for that.
Right.
And everyday person, it's actually really overwhelming.
Yeah.
You don't feel more informed, you just feel a lot more anxious and stressed out.
Right.
Right? It's like you can afford to wait a few hours before you hear about the news because you're in the middle of a meeting. You're
Right.
doing something and you don't want to be disbalanced and disoriented in the process. And the problem with breaking news is that they're never accurate, right? When something
Right. Yeah, when everything just happens,
No
it's never accurate.
idea, and it's going to take some time for the dust to settle
Yeah.
before you read it. And I'm like, oh, this is what's happening. And so if you're someone who's subscribed to like breaking news alerts through whatever app or service you're using, you're kind of in for the whole ride. So from the moment news breaks,
Right.
first update is like, okay, the assassination happened. Number two update an hour later, okay, we think it was a homicide, right?
Right.
Three updates like we're pursuing the person. Number four, we arrested the person. Number
Right.
five, the person says they're not guilty, and you're like, wait a second, I can't on this train with you. Like, just tell me what the full story is,
Right.
right? And I don't have the time. So we don't focus on breaking news. We
I
only
love
text
that.
once a day because we target a person who is very busy, which is every single person.
Right.
We're all time conscious because time is money, time is limited, and folks are either busy because time is not their own, or they're busy because they're managing other people's time and they're in a leadership role. Whereas I've never seen a very free leader. It's that format. It's very mindful around how much we bother you. Like we
Right.
only religiously only once a day in the morning, and we don't do weekends because weekends are not for news.
I
You
love
shouldn't hear
that.
weekends. But our Monday coverage covers the entirety of the weekend, so you're never really out of the loop. You just
Right.
break on the weekend. Now, what's the actual coverage, which is the spirit of your question? And we focus on something that's, I would say, pretty unique. We focus on world-changing world news.
I
So
like
it's
that.
a priority filter.
Right.
We focus on significance. If it's something that's changing the world, that's what you're going to hear about. If it's a local accident in Tampa, Florida, accident, like I don't know if we're not going to cover that,
Right.
right? If it's a small flooding in a town in Bangladesh, we're not going to cover that
Right.
because that's changing the world. It's not changing the safety, security, optionality
Right.
style of thousands and millions of people. So that's not sort of what you would see through us.
Right.
We're looking at across the board technology, science,
Wow.
economy, politics, culture, but at the scale and
It's
significance.
all world changing news. Dude, this is
Exactly.
so valuable. Like even if just like think of like content, right? Like what is the best content out there is always things that are relevant and world changing and exciting and things like that, right? So even just paying that $9 a month just to get the most world changing news all in one place, all accurate, and then create a very simple video about that on the daily basis. Just doing content like that alone would blow your social media up. Like there's just so many benefits to it besides obviously being informed and not being informed in a biased way or being brainwashed into thinking this or thinking that or what have you. Really cool. Now, on the flip side of that, some people may say, well, I don't really care I'm not like that because I was born in England. I live in America. I consider myself a world citizen. Um, but there are people out there like, I don't care what's going on in the rest of the world. I just want to know what's going on in America.
Yeah.
Right. Is there a way to be able to just see US news?
So it's interesting you mentioned America specifically, and it's funny you mentioned England because I'm actually in England right now.
Really?
I'm in right now.
What part?
I'm in Hackney.
Where's that?
It's like a little northwest of the city. I'm a visitor here, so
Okay.
I
What city?
in London.
Oh, London. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. It's like one of the neighborhoods, but it's my first time here as well in
Awesome.
Hackney. So I'm not as familiar, but I'm here for a couple of days. So it's funny you mentioned we kind of switch
Nice.
spots, and you know, we actually focus on the American population,
Yeah.
like with the information crisis
Right.
that America is going through is
Definitely.
completely unnecessary, but is dramatic.
Yeah.
Like it's a
It's
big
definitely way worse here than it is in other countries. Like if I'm looking to watch the news, I'm either going to Al Jazeera or bbc.co.uk. Right? Because it's not as bad. It's still not great, but it's definitely not as bad as the U.S. media. It's just
Yeah.
insane.
It's so unfortunate because we're living through prosperity, we're living in abundance, we're living in peace. It's a shame that there are so many parts of our country that are rotting for no good reason.
Right.
I think information infrastructure in America is very, very broken.
Yeah.
And so the reason I mention this is because we're focusing on this audience, on the American person. We also are live and are sort of functional in Canada, but we don't actually serve the users outside of America. So
Okay.
our coverage does have a lot of American kind of events because
Right.
they're also pretty world changing
Yeah.
most of the again, you're not hearing about small hyperlocal accidents,
Right.
but you are pretty attuned to the U.S. economy, U.S. politics. Like you are definitely very much getting that coverage.
Right.
The reason we don't do personalization is actually philosophical in nature. Is because if you want to get, for example, if it's like healthcare business news, there are first of all better places to do that because there are specialty shops that are specifically, are very, very good at that field. But second is the echo chambering piece, and that's where the philosophical piece comes in. Is our social media constructs echo chambers for us, and the rest of media does too. Our lives in America are very echo chamber prone.
Right.
We have the risk here of creating the most effective echo chamber in history,
Wow.
where you can just only see what you already want to see, what you believe, what you're predicting that you're going to see, by hyper personalizing it. And we don't actually think that's the role of news. In
Right.
entertainment, you can do that. In other areas of your life, you can do that. When it comes to news, you shouldn't be able to control what you're seeing, right? Because that way you're going to get in the same problem we have right now, which is people already reassured in their own delusion of whatever their conception of the world is.
Right.
Get a little bit surprised sometimes. We're like, oh, I didn't expect this. I didn't realize this was happening because you have blind spots. And I think the role of news as a
Yeah.
habit is to help you see past those blind spots.
Right.
Our significance editorial filter is something that we really value as like that's part of our value, right? And so we may not be for everybody. If you're someone who only cares about Tampa, Florida news,
Right.
or only about like Paris politics, right? Then there are better places for that.
Right.
We for the American who is a global citizen and who is someone who is very conscious of their time and yet has a global sensitivity and awareness and interest
Right.
and is making informed decisions along the way.
Right. Right. I love that, man. So you guys have been operating for over a year now. Where do you see this? Do you see this going, or is it more so just expanding on the news? Do you guys have plans to expand into other areas or other things?
Totally. So we're doubling down on our media minimalism where we aren't I don't know if we're going to have like a podcast. I don't know if we're going to have, a show. I don't think rich media is going to honor our mission.
Right.
So I think we are doubling down in this very minimalist format of it's a text message, there are no videos,
Right.
there are images, there's no clickbait around it. It's very much just an IV straight into your brain around what's going on. It's the wire
Right.
of service into your brain of
So
what's
the
going on.
actual news is given in a text message. It's not like you're sending a link and then we're going to a website and wow.
Exactly. And so the concision of it is also a core part of the value
Right.
where you don't actually need to read 16 paragraphs.
Right. It's not a
When we
whole super long article. You give the basics and the facts.
the everyday person doesn't have time to read news at all,
Yeah.
and definitely the full article, and definitely not having the broader coverage
I love
of
that.
the entire range. And so we actually pride ourselves on the medium is the message here. Is that like you don't need to read more than a 30-second text message.
Right.
Looks long for a text message, but looks short for anything else.
Yeah.
It's around 1,500 characters, which is about 150 words.
I love that.
So it's intentionally very, very minimalist. And to your question around like trajectory, we're not looking to deviate from our original mission of news minimalism,
Right.
news mindfulness around, it's not about entertaining you. So I don't think we're going to have a podcast. I don't think we're going to have a show. I don't think we're going
Right.
to elections, we don't even advertise ourselves because it's so contrary to our spirit. We let folks find us. So I think, for next year, we are continuing to grow very quickly. We're picking up a lot more attention from media around us. People are paying attention to like, wow, this is new. No one's doing this, right? As we're getting more and more users in the actual news media world, they're like, wow, I'm going to use this for my job now.
Right.
Like, good because, you know, because write better news. Um, and so I think growth for us looks like continuing to find our people, expand nationwide. Right now, we're very concentrated in urban centers.
Right.
We want in middle America. There
Right.
is no reason for us not to be a news habit for a whole new generation of news
Definitely.
that are just picking their heads up. The Gen Z, the younger millennials, like,
Yeah.
hey, I don't know what's going on. What is happening? I don't
Yeah.
want to read legacy. I don't want to read my parents' news.
Right.
Fox. I want to know the facts, and I have no tolerance for BS.
Yeah.
So it's finding those people for us and serving them with this commitment that we have that continues to be our focus.
It's incredible, man. Incredible. I'm excited to go and sign up. So let's talk about that. A lot of people when they come on the show, they have, some sort of a gift or things they want to give away to our viewers and listeners. Before the show, you were telling me a little something about it. Can you go over that and explain to you how we go about signing up to start getting the news from you guys?
Absolutely. It couldn't be more simple. We try to keep it very simple. We actually operate, this is just a bit of a side note, but we operate, and we're really proud of this. We operate the largest toll-free number for news by text in America.
Wow.
And so it's 844-406-INFO. And when you text that number, you can text join to that number. You're going to be automatically in the world. There's no accounts. You don't need to remember a password. You don't need to, front your credit card. None of that stuff. But you're going to be in our universe. You're going to start getting the value from day zero.
Wow.
How else to join? I think the simplest way is to go to our website, which is Informed.Now.
Right.
And an even faster way, because that's going to take you to learn more about our mission and our impact, but an even faster way to sign up, if you don't want to text, if you want to go to the website, is go directly to our form, which is, we have this funny website for that, which is get.informed.now. And when you go there, it takes you directly to our sign up, even quicker than our website does. And you just put in your phone number and you say, hey, I wanna get facts. And from there on, it's very simple. Any listeners of your show, which is, I'm a big fan, get a free week to try, to experiment, to see if this is something that they're interested in.
Awesome.
There's no payment needed up front, and they get to experience the power of facts and see if they want to be part of this mission or if this is not for them. Which is
Right.
totally
Very cool, man. Dude, I'm really excited to get my news in the morning. I miss watching and reading the news. It's just gotten so bad that like you can't believe anything they're saying. They're constantly trying to push their agenda. I mean, it's terrible. And I hate not being informed on what's going on in the world. Right?
yeah.
Like it's crazy, man. So, dude, I love what you've built. I think you have an absolute gold mine on your hand, but besides that, you're able to really change a corrupt industry and allow people to now get the facts that are not biased and truthful, um, and world changing news that really people need to know. Right. I mean, it's so important to know what's going on around the world and things that are changing and happening. Um, it's just, man, it's it's a great thing what you're doing, man.
It means a lot coming from you, Shaheen, and I
Appreciate
really
it.
uh, we're looking for our people. Sounds like we found one right
Yeah,
here.
oh, definitely, by far. My wife will definitely be into this as well. She's the same way. Like her mom watches a certain news, and so we can't talk about politics at the table anymore because she has watched a specific news channel, and all her opinions are now based on that news channel. And it's like, and I see that time and time again with so many people. I have some family members the same way. Like they watch a specific news channel and now all their opinions are based off of that. And it's like, ugh, it's sad.
Yeah,
It's sad to see. It really is.
and I really lament the loss of the like healthy civilian conversation
Yeah.
around politics, around
Right.
culture.
You just can't
Because
have it anymore. Like
now,
people are literally divorcing friends and family. And I know this guy that literally divorced his wife over politics. Like it's just like people have just gone insane because the media has literally brainwashed people so heavily. It's just gotten way out of control. Way out of control.
and, and I mean, I really believe that we have so much more in common than we have apart. And
100%.
this divide, this hyperpolarization that we are suffering through,
Yeah.
is
Well, it's because
I re-
so many people are so one sided or the other sided rather than like for me, I can understand both sides, right? Like I make my opinions for sure, but like I'm never so oh you don't like Trump, or oh you do like Trump, you're my people or anything, like I use Trump as an example because it's a big one,
yeah,
right?
totally,
But it's just crazy to me that everybody can be so one sided, and it's rare to come across people that are completely open minded and able to have a healthy conversation about things going on in the world or politics or what have
totally. I mean, that's the world that I want to live in.
you. Yeah,
Is the ability to connect with people and disagree and be okay with that.
yeah,
And so, uh,
yeah, exactly.
and that I feel like has been robbed from America
Yeah,
for some time now. But I would blame if I had to, attribute cause and effect to the tribalism of the news industry, right? These
100%.
people, as masses, we behave pretty simplistically sometimes.
Yeah,
It is the systems that we inhabit, right? And these systems have driven us apart,
yeah,
right? Just for profit,
yeah,
just for sensationalism that serves the corporate interest. And
yeah.
it's a shame. It doesn't have to be this way. The divide is very artificial.
Oh yeah,
And if we came together a lot more and had these healthy conversations, I think we'd all feel a lot better about
a
everything that's
hundred
happening.
percent.
So, in many ways, we're very proud to have such a big spectrum of users that we
Right.
have. Young folks, we have old folks, we have radical Republicans and radical Democrats. We have the left side, the right side, the upside, the downside, whole spectrum of social, cultural, political range,
Right.
and we really value that because that's what we've set out to be. This is not a political project.
Yeah.
This is a this is an infrastructure project
Right.
of how to bring folks to the same table, to the same fact base, so that if we disagree, we know what we're disagreeing on. We're
Exactly.
not people disagreeing on.
Yeah. Yeah. It's unbelievable, man. So again, if we want to text, it's 844-406-INFO,
Exactly.
and that'll
Yeah.
automatically put us in there. And then after a week, do we get like a link to upload our card information? I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Okay.
After a week, and we take user privacy extremely seriously, where we actually don't collect any information about our users. So we actually have a lot of users who are anonymous. Like you can even have that level of
Wow.
distance because it should be this way.
Right.
Like we'd have no business knowing more about you than you want us
Right.
to
Yeah. No,
know.
I love that.
Cookie, the privacy invading cookie that says, click here, you have no choice, and you click
Right.
your browsing history, your click, your behavior, how much you're scrolling, where you like it's crazy.
Yeah.
With SMS, after a week, with very minimal information collected, you pay through a secure Stripe platform,
Right.
and it's monthly. So as soon as you want to quit, which is the simplest quitting experience ever, you just text us stop. There's no
Right.
there's no portals and management. You just say, okay, I'm done. I don't want to know about the world anymore, and it's over.
Love
So
it.
the easiest to join and the easiest to leave.
Awesome, man. Well, as soon as we get done here, I'm gonna sign up, and I'm looking forward to it, dude. I really am. And I'm excited to see where this goes for you guys. So we'll definitely have to have you on in the future and see how things have changed. And yeah, man, love what you're doing. Keep it up.
Thank you very much for having me. It's been a delightful conversation. And to any media minimalists out there, go to Informed.Now. We'll be happy to have you.
Absolutely, man. Appreciate it.